without excitement leads to extinction. If the whole world were to be like someone, it will definitely be a boring place. Variety is needed in shape of life. Until you dare to be different, you will never make a difference. Everyone is needed to be unique. And because we are entitled to be celebrated in life, I would say many thanks belongs to God, the Alpha and Omega, the I am that I am, the giver of knowledge, the greatest teacher, the king of superlative attributes. I do say, if it is the only thing I learned in life is to give praises to God, it deserves my praises. I'm using this medium to welcome us all. Into today's program. Called Breaking Barriers. Say on this program, there is nothing too big for us to tackle in life. I just say this life is full of ups and downs. Nothing comes easily. But it can be easier for us only if we take the bold step those legends takes. My name is IFEOLUWAPELUMI. Yeah, today on Breaking Barriers, we are honored to host a man whose life is a masterpiece of multimedia growth, and also with a foundation in accounting, and also a professionalism in training in filmmaking. My guest today has excelled across many sections in life, and as a scriptwriter, actor, poet, and teacher. He's also into what we call broadcasting. Also, he teaches minds. And he also inspired changes to many lives. Now, let's get ready for a conversation with someone who does not just break barriers, but he breaks them every day. Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, it's nice having you on the show here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Could you please introduce yourself to our audience and our viewers, sir?
Okay, my name is Abdulmunaf Sonny Thomas. I'm an OAP. I'm an actor, I'm a poet and scriptwriter, and at the same time, I'm a teacher.
Wow. It's nice having you on the show, sir. I know that before Ebi writes his song, There is a night full of silence and struggle. It's not never falling, but it's about rising every time. And also know that here we celebrate those who turn their darkness into light and their plan into power. Now let's break barriers together. Yeah, welcome, sir. Yeah, we are moving to the journey through education first. In this aspect, sir, I know that studying accounting is more than just reading and writing, and it's about shaping minds. What motivates you to choose this path, sir?
You mean accounting?
Yes, sir.
Those days in secondary school, I had this friend and we were just talking about dinner, because then we normally view accountants as those people that are there with the society. So we are just like, after school, I love to become an accountant, I love to work at the World Bank. I think it's the spirit of that richness, that they have money, the way they talk, they are well respected in the society, and we are like, okay, I think I want to be like this people. But I failed to look inwardly, to look at myself deeply and look at, okay, this is the kind of talent that I have, and this is what I was supposed to build on. Understand? I wasn't looking at that direction at all. I was just looking at the direction like, let me just be these people that people will respect, putting on tie, moving to work, riding a big cars, and all this kind of thing. So I went for accounting.
Wow. Because there are some set of people, they believe that while doing accounting, they are going to get some money, something like that, into that. Now, moving to the next question. I know many people start over. What will you say to someone afraid of changing direction in life?
One thing that is very constant in life is change. And what I normally tell people is that it doesn't matter how many times you fall. When people fall, they are so scared of standing again. They are so scared of, like, they lose that self-confidence in themselves. Like, okay, if I decided to try this path again, what if I fail? What will people say? So I think that fear it prevents people from standing whenever they fail. And one thing about life is that the more you fail, the more you know. But people do not know that.
The more you fail,
the more you know. The more you fail, the more experienced you become. The more you fail, the more creative you become. So failure in life doesn't necessarily mean you are written off in the society. It only means, it only gives you another way to better your chance of climbing that ladder of success. But people do not know that. Understand? So that's what I think about the thing about IBADAN in your massive situation. And it's always to repay and the come with Musu. How I go to Baba or January possible. So failure doesn't mean that you are written off. It only tells you no, you have not done enough. Just push up a little bit and you get to where you are going. And one beautiful thing about failure again is that failure it gives you that connection in life. Because the more you are failing, the more you are trying to rise, the more you are meeting new people. So by the time you are not able to get to that ladder where you are going, you see that journey will be very easy for you because you have a lot of people to depend on, a lot of people to raise. No, now.
Yeah.
So that is one beauty about failure that people don't know. I love to fail because I love to learn. The more you fail, the more you learn.
Exactly. This is so touching. Now, moving to the creative expression. Yeah, I know that you wear many creative limits: actor, you're a producer, you're a script writer, and also a poet. So which of these help you break personal limitation the most? And why?
Personal limitation the most.
Exactly.
And why? I will choose writing. I wouldn't say script writing because I started from writing before I learned the art of script writing. I will choose writing. I grew up with a very disciplined father.
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to mingle much with people in the society, or should I say within
the community.
The community. So my father was just like, you have to read, learn, sleep. But right from my childhood days, I love stories. So my father saw that attribute in me, so he got me a lot of storybooks to read. Understand? But in those days, because I wasn't allowed to mix with people much, the only companion I had then was radio.
Was it that in your society there are no more educated people, or most of them are illiterate?
Yes, it was just the way my father brought me up.
Wow.
Like that, understand? So the only companion I had there was radio. And in those days, we don't have the kind of artists that we have here in Nigeria now.
Exactly.
We have people singing R&B. In those days, the only R&B that we normally, the music that normally listen to on radio then were foreign music, because Nigba Atila artists in Nigeria. It's only, it's either you listen to Barista or anything, but foreign music then, it dominated 90% of the airways. Go like Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, all those kind of solo music. And if you see the way these people sing, they deal so much with they believe so much in lyrics. So they take their time to compose music. And from this their composition, you find a lot of idiomatic expression, figure of speech. They just like you have one or two things to learn from their composition. So I started from there. Because I love R&B, I love music, especially slow music. So I listen to a lot of all these things.
Especially the lyrics.
The lyrics. So that motivated me, and I started writing at my early days. So that writing, it took me far to a lot of, like, it helped me to shaping my mind. Like, it took me to a place I never thought I could be. Because I see people appreciate, like, wow, she will look up, wow, look about it. Understand? Because I include all those things in my writing.
Let me say, it even added more value.
Added more value to me. So it helps me to break that barrier when I was still a kid, a child, growing up. And even when I was in school, I normally I write stories.
Can you share some stories you've written, something like that?
I think the first story I wrote was a prose, and I call it Reality of Love.
Interesting.
And I think I sold it to a certain filmmaker. Then, because in school I used to write. So after writing, I would come down to Lagos, move to Idumota, where we have a lot of filmmakers in the early 90s, 2000. So I just sold my story, got my cash, then moved back. So I would choose writing.
I love that.
Writing.
I also want to be like you. Yeah, we are moving on. As someone deeply involved in storytelling, do you believe every person has a story that can shatter this stereotype that you have?
Yeah, when we talk about stereotype, I think it varies. Stereotype in my home, to me,
I
think
personally.
Personally, I think we are talking about being biased. We are talking about assumption. Yeah, assumption. And let me give you an instance of this writer that I love so much. I love this guy, Jason Chase. Jason Chase was a crime writer, and he deals with all his stories that are like crime stories and all those kind of things. And if you don't read his story to the end, you don't really sit down and understand where that person was coming from.
Exactly.
Understand? So we have a lot of stories that deal with that. You get it? We have a lot of stories that. So I will say that it does. It does. We have beautiful storytelling, beautiful storyline that talks about that direction.
Yeah, since you said you're a storyteller storyteller or story writer, and you write a lot of stories. So what was one story of a student who remind you why teaching matters beyond academics? I know you are into this profession now.
Okay, teaching academics.
Exactly.
Teaching is different from academics.
Yeah.
Very, very different. When we talk about academics, we are simply talking about the four walls of the classroom. But when you talk about teaching, teaching moves beyond that. You are only like, what class are you, J1, J2, J3, and I'm done academically. But if you talk about teaching, teaching moves more deeper than that. Okay, let me give you an example. When Wally Shrinka was still in UI, Wally Shrinka came out with pass. And you and I knew that coming out with pass in school is not going to guarantee you anything. So teaching, it matters more than academic. Teaching, you learn a lot of trade, you learn a lot of crafts, you have people that you can learn from. That is teaching. So I believe that teaching is even more important and valuable than academics.
Right. Yeah, we are moving to the broadcasting and the public voice.
Okay.
Sir, what role do you think media plays in helping people to break barriers? It can be in a cultural, educational, or societal barriers. In the society we find ourselves now.
Media plays a lot of role. People believe so much in media than even what they read from newspapers. They believe anything coming out on TV, on radio, is the main deal, not what they believe. So that's why you see a lot of people consulting media houses for information.
Even those elderly people, they can't do without listening to radio.
So much in media. So if as this kind of campaigning against 2027 election, they are going through media. We see a lot of journalists coming up, a lot of human activists coming up on radio to educate people. So media, it has a lot of roles to play to shaping the society.
To add to what you said, sir, it's obvious that it's humanly impossible to know everything because omniscience is the exclusive preserve of the Almighty God. But in a world full of a savage, but we have to know something about something and everything about something. And there's so much wisdom and safety in being a master of something and also be efficiently informal about others. And sometimes our ignorance will always cost us something. But when we know so much, our knowledge are ultimately earned. And I know that when we do not know something, we call it ignorance, isn't it? And I know that ignorance will cost us a lot if we do not know something. So we are moving on. Sir, this question is directed to you, sir. If you have the word country listen to you for just 60 seconds, what barriers breaking truth would you share? Personally. Yeah.
And it's like you asked me to run my star story in 60 seconds.
Just 60 seconds as a broadcaster.
Okay. I think the first one that I was able to break was during my days in school.
Okay.
before I got on campus then, they were just like, they had one magazine on campus, that was Ovation. And Ovation was owned by the school authority. So then in school, I was the editor-in-chief of my department. Before I became the editor, then I was the deputy editor of my department, NAPAS, accounting, both the news. Then I wrote everything on. And my editor was like, hey, I just posted everything on. And people started reading, and it really caused a lot of drama on campus to the point that the guy had to resign. Because at night, his little courses, so they have to like move to his hostel and this kind of their cross mark, and the guy was so scared and he had to resign. And my HOD called me that, okay, but to resign, you must like how far? I said, okay, no Allah. And I took up the mantle of leadership. Now on campus then, it was just only one magazine, as I was saying, Ovation, and no other departments have been able to compete with them. And I said, I want to publish a magazine. And my HOD was saying, school. I said, I'm not trying. So I went through like 6 or 7 editions of Ovations. And I found out that they were only, like, everything just only centered on one thing. School, then the environment. Nothing new. I said, let me make something new. So I came down to Lagos. I have this actor interview, Sam Chayamele. I think it was one of the biggest series of Super Story then. I had him interview everything, and when that magazine came out on campus, it was a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece. And people were like, wow, so I was able to break that barrier.
Great.
So the ability for you to face that problem head on, not to run away, not to chicken away out of that problem, is what you call breaking barrier. Like nothing is going to stop you. Nothing is going to stop you. No challenge is going to overcome you. Either proof, either whatever happened, this place I'm going, I have to get there. So when you get there, then that is breaking barrier.
Wow. Thank you, sir. Yeah, before we continue on today's program, we want to go on a commercial break. We'll be back very soon. Breaking Barriers still continues.
ǹjẹ́ ti gbọ́ nípa iléeṣẹ́ àdúgbàdùwọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ olùfọkàntán iléeṣẹ́ Star Mike Multimedia Concept tó gbóúnjẹ fẹ́gbẹ́ tó gbà wò níbi ká máa ṣe àwọn ohun ẹ̀rù lọ́kànjọ̀kan bíi àwọn ohun amúnúléwu ìwọ́dùn ń wò bíi frame throw pillow customized wardrobe mọ́ọ̀gì tó ṣe kò tí ì gbóná láti fi jókè ẹ̀ náà wẹ̀yìn towel customized cap t-shirt pen àti àwọn iṣẹ́ printing mìíràn lọ́lọ́kanjọ̀kan iléeṣẹ́ Star Mike Multimedia Concept ló wà ní ojú ọjọ́ concept àgbèrò rẹ̀ ṣíṣe dọwọ́ tiwa.
The Aces Hotels and Conference Center is one and only event place with a clear difference and tasteful excellence here in the ancient city of Ibadan. For your next and upcoming event, whether marriage engagement, wedding reception, anniversaries, conferences, seminars or birthday, the Aces Hotels and Conference Center is affordable and fully equipped with all imaginable ultra-modern facilities for your total convenience without headache, security, park, environment, parking space, and royal service by their staff. All roads lead to the Aces Hotel and Conference Center today at kilometer 2.5 Ijokodo Akbete Akufo Road at Kere Ibadan. For booking and more information, call 080-8746-7420, 080-9744-1898, or 080-2869-0012. The Aces Hotels and Conference Center, where comfortability speaks in words.
Ènìyàn mi lọ́kùnrin àti lóbìnrin lọ́mọdé àti lágbà orúkọ mi ni olóyè Dr. Lérè Taiwo ìdánilọ́lá mẹ́fà. Mo ń fi àsìkò ìròyìn wípé ẹ máa gbọ́ AIM FM rédíò and TV nígbà gbogbo. Torí pé ẹ máa kọ́gbọ́n bẹ̀, ẹ máa nímọ̀, ẹ máa lóye gbogbo ìgbà. Títẹ́ fi ń gbọ́ wọn létí, títẹ́ fi ń wù wọ́n gbé fún, ẹ máa gbọ́ wọn, ẹ máa ṣe iṣẹ́ tí yín náà ló jí sẹ́sẹ̀ lọ́wọ́.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi gbà mí.
O ti sanwó gbowó tí o ti gbọ́n pa ilé ìtajà Stardust Homes Wear Enterprise ó kù nígbà rọ̀gùdù ilé ìtòdojúkọ ilé ìfowópamọ́ Keystone Bank agbègbè àbáyọ̀mí ìwòrò nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn. Báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ sí àwọn ilẹ̀kùn ayẹta, àwọn táìtì tí ó gbóhùn iyì àti ẹwà bá ilé, àwọn àgbá omi lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, moving sheet eléyìí tí ó gbé àwòrán ilé jáde àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Gbogbo rẹ̀ ló wà lójú kan náà lọ́dọ̀ Stardust Homes Wear Enterprise fún gbogbo kọ́lékọ́lé àti àgbàlékọ́. Gbogbo àwọn ohun èlò ilé eléyìí tí ó sọ ní ìrẹ́dì àwòdámi ẹnu ọ̀dọ̀ Stardust Homes Wear Enterprise ní orí àkàsí yìí. Ẹ pè sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 0708-760-5119 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 0708-760-5119. Stardust Homes Wear Enterprise fún ojúlówó àwọn èròjà ilé tó ní owó lójú.
Welcome back. This is AIM FM Radio 97.3 Ibadan. Here we have Mr. Sonny Thomas here live on today's program. He's smiling at me. Here we dive into his journey. He's not just a teacher, but a rising force. His story and I have a doubt that his voice will want. We continue. Sir, how do you stay motivated when the pressure of academics, either personal life and responsibility, felt overwhelming?
Simple music.
Wow. Like, what type of music do you listen to?
Everyone knows that.
R&B.
I love R&B.
Oh. Like, seriously?
Even when I'm hungry, when I listen to music, I'm fine.
I can say music brings out the joy in you. So, what moment made you feel like I'm giving up, and what makes you to keep going? There will surely be.
That was the time I shot my first movie in Ghana. That was inside the movie. After shooting that movie, and I wanted to premiere it at KAUST, that is Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi in Ghana. Now, they set up a panel to watch the movie first. Actually, it was a 3-cast story, a love story. And the panel, when they sat down and they watched that movie and they were thrilled that, wow, how do you tell a story of 2 hours with this only 3 casts? It was a kind of a very beautiful story, very beautiful movie. We just 3 casting on it. How?
Can you just summarize it a little? I'm interested.
I think we're just ready only doing that.
Okay.
So I did that. And after that, I wanted to premiere it. And every preparation was just ongoing. And then when the D-Day came, and I couldn't get even 5 people to get tickets. I couldn't get just 5. I got his contact. I listened to one of his interviews on radio, and I got his contact and I called him. The man said, come and see me. He gave me his address, the office, and I went I spent 2 weeks in this academy, that is our City of Talent Academy, which is where we understand. I was exposed to a whole lot of things in the creative world again. Understand? So it gave me my first opportunity to act on stage drama, and a whole. So people tend to look at this character in here like, who that will die. It's not a die.
The way you were brought up.
Exactly. Being somebody in the art world, you have seen a lot of things. You have heard, you have read a lot of things. You know, an actor comes to life like more than 1,000 times, rather than ordinary human being. As an actor, you can act a movie and you can be a doctor.
Exactly.
Another movie, you can be a lawyer. Every role you take has its own unique experience. So, hardly can you see someone in the art business that is very emotional like that, because we are trained to be tough. So that is where the principle comes in. So I'm very principled. I know where I'm going. I don't allow anything to push me back. No matter how emotional that thing can be, I don't look back. I don't look back. So that is one thing that is
As the purpose of this program, Breaking Barriers is more than just a program. It is a movement that fosters resilience and also inspire change and also create a pathway for growth. And to our audience, I can tell you that barriers are challenges that prevent progress from achievement or communication, and also they can assist in various ways. These barriers can come in physical, emotionally, financially, educationally. Barriers are so many. And I always say it on this program that there are some ways that we can overcome these barriers. The first one is we have to identify the barrier first. Then we set a clear goals. We develop a plan. We seek for knowledge. And we also take a consistent action. Then we celebrate the small wins. It's not necessary to be big achievement before we can celebrate it. We celebrate ourselves. Even when people are doubting us, what can she do? What can he do? You just have to prove them wrong. As Ricky Rogan once said, because I love to quote, strength doesn't come from what we can do, because it comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. I hope I'm right. Sir, before you go, what message will you give to a man like you, feeling stuck academically, emotionally, or professionally? What advice will you give to those sort of person?
to break barriers. Never allow anything to stop you from achieving what he intended to achieve or to. There's a story of this lady that was an orphan. She had no one to turn to. The parent died at a young age. And she was thrown, let me use that word, thrown. So she was thrown to stay with her late mothers and big aunts. And there she wasn't treated like human. She was just treated unfair. She wasn't allowed to go to school. While other children they were going to school. And there was this lady that normally operated this computer business, typesetting, something. So whenever she was lonely on their own let home, she would just move to that and like, I want to learn one or two things from you. From there, she started learning how to operate computer, how to trade on internet, and today she is a graduate. Today she has lots of people working on her. That's breaking barrier. That thing that people think that it's beyond you, that you cannot achieve it. And forget about the background of your parents. Forget about the fact that your parents are not rich, your parents are they are nobody in the society. That might be their own destiny. Their destiny should not command your own destiny. For the mere fact that you don't reach it, you don't have a rich parent, does not mean that you are going to remain a pauper forever. What you need is just to get your hearts together. Like, okay, this is my father, this is my mother, this is where they are. I want to exceed them. I want to be successful than them. So you don't allow anything to stop you from achieving your dream. Don't look down on yourself that something is too big for you to achieve. No. The moment you started looking up that something is too big, you are already killing yourself.
Killing the vibes.
Killing the vibes, killing the energy. But the moment you're like, fine, it might be tall, it might be tall, but I will be able to climb and face it. Then you jigger yourself. And you pull through. Though you eat it.
No one comes there. I'm very sure next time we call on you, going to give a result. I trust you. Okay, sir.
I was appreciate God in your life.
Thank you, sir.
We have known each other. We are not just meeting. I've seen lots of improvement, the zeal, the energy with you.
I'm blushing.
This is one part of breaking barrier. You're actually breaking the barrier.
Thank you thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, before we go, here is my little advice for us. You may turn back your clock